everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley. Welcome back to another video. After the strong and intense and virtually unanimous backlash to Harry and Meghan's outings to the victims of the California wildfires and the sites of the California wildfires, after their shenanigans, there had been tons and tons of criticism, and then emerged criticisms of the media coverage that there was a double standard. Let's examine this, shall we? LA is enmeshed with Hollywood, obviously. So naturally, in the California wildfire situation, which has been very devastating, there has definitely been a higher rate of celebrity involvement in this natural disaster versus other natural disasters because this is local to them, so that makes sense. The celebrities, friends, family, co-workers, employees, studios and their employees, workplaces, like all of it is impacted one way or the other, including many celebrities directly losing their homes and falling victim to this wildfire. There have also been a lot of the people around them and their communities and their workplace communities. All of these networks that are enmeshed with celebrities and Hollywood and whatnot have been negatively impacted by the fires because of their location and whatnot. And so, of course, we've seen a lot more celebrities getting involved in this situation. This is their home, after all. And so, of course, some people are claiming that there is a double standard, that the Sussexes have been criticized heavily for what they have done versus other celebrities not being criticized in the same way, or even people foolishly being like, well, why don't we have the celebrities saying things about other disasters? Okay, to an extent that's fair, but at the same time, this is literally their home, their neighborhoods, their workplaces. So I feel like that argument isn't as strong. But let's take a look at the argument for whether or not there is a double standard for the Sussexes compared to the other celebrities who have gotten involved in the California wildfire catastrophe. So in case you didn't know, Harry and Meghan basically have been accused of using the California wildfire situation to their advantage to try to soften their public image and PR. They came out with a statement telling people what they should be doing. They went and walked around burned down homes where the homeowners haven't even gotten the chance to see if their house is still standing or not. Probably the most egregious of errors. They took an entourage with them to volunteer for a few minutes at the site, at an evacuation site. And by doing so, they took the mayor and other first responders, volunteers, people there to help away from organizing relief efforts to escort them around. Big mistake. And have continued to do a handful of tone-deaf visits where it's basically a situation where Harry and Meghan aren't welcome at this time, and they're coming across as using this situation to their own gain. I have a couple videos on it. I will link for you at the top of the page if I can, and in the description box if I can. One specific moment was labeled a secret visit for Meghan to drop off lunch and a few donations to this girl who started organizing and trying to collect donations and stuff for people to get some of the things that they needed. Now, here's one of the problems with these sorts of visits. Meghan and Harry publicize it, but do not publicize whatever they're visiting enough for the public to understand what this was. We have less information about this girl who started something great, was trying to do something good for her community, and was being a leader within her community and doing a great job. We have far less information about what she exactly was doing and what her little organization basically that she started was up to. We have far less information, almost no information about that, but we have a lot of information about Meghan showing up. This is one of the main problems with how Meghan and Harry approach things. If they actually want to shine a light on organizations that matter, then they should be including in their press release or sending information to the media about this girl's project and what she's trying to do and why it's important so that other people can understand and learn about it and support it also, or have something similar in their community if they need it. Additionally, just because it's labeled secret and not for publicity doesn't make it true. This leads me to think that Meghan specifically asks people and media outlets to say that it was not for publicity and secret, because she is there for publicity. It's a tell. I think anytime there's an article really regarding most people, but especially Harry and Meghan, that says that it was a secret visit, but yet we have found out about it because they sent the pictures and they told the media about it, that it's just them trying to cover their tracks. Don't believe it. But let's take a look at this double standard argument, okay? We know what Harry and Meghan have done. Like I said, you can go watch the videos from the last couple weeks for a more detailed recap. But let's see what other celebrities have done. Have they been courting the media the same way as Harry and Meghan have? No. Spoiler alert, they have not. But the Kardashians, for example, have sent meals and monetary donations. We only found out about it because they sent a ton of meals, hot meals, like to go from a restaurant to, I believe it was first responders. They did not tell the press. Jamie Lee Curtis, she has announced a large donation, and she has talked about it some in interviews because she was in the middle of promoting a movie when this all happened, and sent out a couple of tweets about it. She has been very respectful about it. She has talked a lot about the community that she loves and lives within. She lives right on the edge of the Pacific Palisades, technically in the Pacific Palisades, but she was just off from where the fire was. Her home survived, I believe she said, but she is extremely sad for her community and has spoken a lot about how rich that community is and how much it's going to need help to get rebuilt. Selena Gomez has made massive donations, and that's it. Just donated the money and kept out of the way to try to be helpful in that way. Paris Hilton has done a lot of work, and she has been doing some publicity about animal shelters, how to help the animals, that the pets need places to go, that what sorts of food donations they need, things like that. So I think her publicity has been very targeted towards these specific animal shelters. It hasn't been, I'm doing this, so much as this is what we need for these pets and these animals that need places to go and they need care. Sean Penn, I think, has been doing the most. He is out there on the ground helping to facilitate the CORE response. That's his nonprofit that he has set up to do disaster relief help, humanitarian aid in the face of disaster. Kind of a different league there. Angelina Jolie showed up to volunteer and has donated goods and financial donations as well. When she showed up to volunteer, she came in quietly for a shift, and reports from people who were there said that she did keep to herself a little bit, probably an attempt to not get recognized quite as much. And then we only found out about it because at the end, the fellow volunteers who were working alongside her during that shift realized it was Angelina Jolie and wanted to take a picture. So before she left for the night, they all lined up and took a single photo outside the place where she was helping to volunteer. But she just worked a normal shift, several hours. I believe it was I think they said 8 hours or something like that in the evening. And she came without a bunch of bodyguards. If there was a bodyguard, nobody noticed that there was one. She came without a team, no assistance, no nothing. She just came and contributed. She's also a well-established humanitarian, so she is in it for the work, not the clout. You can trust that she was not there for publicity. She doesn't need publicity. She's a UN ambassador, for goodness sakes. Jennifer Garner has been doing a lot of volunteering, donating, and some brief interviews. They maybe weren't the best when it comes to PR in some ways, but at the same time, she did very much keep it on just wanting to help out and wanting to do something to help out in this moment. And she definitely was not seeking the press. They just recognized her, the news crews, and asked her if she would come over and let them know what she had been up to while she was helping out. So she wasn't like calling up the press. There's a lot more examples, including Bethany Frankel, who has Be Strong is her charitable organization that she runs that is also a sort of disaster response organization, and she's doing a really, really great job. She's offering up cash subsidies and other sorts of aid and plans to stay in the area until the homes are rebuilt. So really, really great. Lots of respect to her for that. She's doing it right. And she has given some interviews about Be Strong's response, but that is because she's in charge of that charity and organization. Like, she's the face of it. So she's communicating on behalf of that organization, kind of like Sean Penn is on behalf of CORE. It's not in a personal capacity quite as much. But let's compare these high-profile cases to that of the Sussexes to see whether a double standard actually does exist or not. These various celebrities have largely not sought out the publicity like Harry and Meghan have. Some of them haven't even announced their donations or things like that via their social media or especially in the press. Almost none of those celebrities have told the press what they have done. It's just the press has ran articles about tweets that they have made or other social media posts that they have made. For example, Jennifer Garner, she has not called to inform the press prior to showing up. The press finds out after she's there. However, TMZ received a tip-off from Camp Sussex detailing what time they would be arriving and what location and what they planned to do while there. Totally different story. None of the aforementioned celebrities have told anyone else what they should be doing, like Harry and Meghan's formal statement did. If they had just said, these are some places or ways to help right now, that might have been fine. But that's not what they did. They told people what they should be doing, and they'd called their statement formal. They shouldn't have done that. They should have just put out a tweet like everybody else. Or, I shouldn't say tweet. Nobody uses that anymore. An Instagram post, a social media post like everybody else did. None of these other celebrities brought along their own videographer or photographer or staff, assistants, or security team while they volunteered. But Harry and Meghan brought an entire team of people, meaning also more cars, more people clogging up this already relatively chaotic situation. And more cars and people to be escorted back and forth by the police because Harry and Meghan can't seem to go anywhere without extra security and police escorts. It's ridiculous. It's nonsensical. Nor did any of these celebrities tour burned down homes. Obviously. It was the grossest thing that Harry and Meghan have done to trample over someone else's devastation in this way. Paris Hilton has highlighted helping displaced and lost pets in the wake of the fires and shared ways to help within the media and within social media. But it was well received. It was welcome because a lot of people's first worry was for the animals. And also there has been slightly less coverage about what people can do to help out the pets and the animals and what can be done. And what organizations are working on that problem and what they need and what people can do to help the animals and the pets specifically. Sean Penn has been sharing QR codes for CORE, as well as a couple of short interviews. But again, like I said, that's as his role with CORE, a disaster response humanitarian charity. And he's been doing this since Katrina. So he has a lot more experience and he has a seat at this table. This is something he does. Other celebrities or known figures who have simply donated and posted about it are not continuing to make posts and did not send their posts to the press themselves. The press just found those posts. So the difference is obvious. Harry and Meghan explicitly sent information to the press, and the only reason to do that is publicity. They also try to claim that it was a secret or a surprise visit, which is contradicted by the press being informed ahead of time, clearly tipped off by the team, therefore not a surprise or secret visit at all. They brought photographers and staff and sent those pictures out to People magazine and other publications with the sole purpose to get publicity. It's only now that they have been receiving criticism and there has been a huge backlash that they're trying to say, no, it wasn't for publicity. Even when the Meg brought lunch to the group of teenagers organizing their study group or something like that after their school burned down, I believe it was, something of that nature, the pictures were sent via Team Sussex to be published with the express intention of clapping back at criticisms of Harry and Meghan doing their, trampling on people's burned down homes thing. It once again didn't work. Of course, a celebrity or known individual helping out or being seen in one of these moments would be photographed, potentially. Like people recognizing them and being like, oh my God, that's so-and-so here helping out. Click, I'm going to take a picture of that. That makes sense. The way it went down with Angelina Jolie. Or, for example, if there's a reporter there and they recognize Jennifer Garner, of course they're going to be like, oh my gosh, let's go see if we can ask her a couple questions and see what she's up to. Those sorts of things make sense. or even the press reporting on celebrities who have pledged donations or announced a donation on their Instagram or what have you. People might post those sorts of things to social media and post if they've seen a celebrity at an evacuation site volunteering. They might post that because it's interesting, or they recognize the person and they're like, oh my God, look at that. But most normal people who see a celebrity, especially at this time, are certainly not going to send that information to the press outlets. They would post it to their own social media or text it to their family members or something like that. So the very fact that the press has claimed to have gotten the pictures and information from the Sussexes team specifically, and it's highly unlikely that these pictures and information of the Sussexes activities came from anywhere else. It's very unlikely that somebody would see Harry and Meghan at an evacuation site or something, take a picture, and then somehow send it to the press. Like, most normal people of the public would not be doing that. So that is an unlikely scenario. And taking the media at their word that they got this information and these pictures and these updates from the Sussexes themselves, it is a safe assumption that Harry and Meghan are continuing to bring their assistants to take these pictures of these moments with the explicit intention and purpose to send it to the press and get publicity for it. It's gross. Why though? Obviously to gain better publicity. It's part of the Meg's image in her mind. Remember these pictures of her posing like Diana did to a T? She clearly thinks this is something that she wants to be part of her public image, as per our narcissism video discussed. So the appropriateness of the approach that she's taking doesn't really dawn on her. And her manipulative actions are transparent to everyone but her, it would appear. It is understandable to want to do some of the helping and to be involved yourself. But there are two problems with that for the Meg. Firstly, her reputation is that of an attention-seeking, selfish person. Only self-serving type of vibes. I'll only do it if it benefits me via a picture and a press release that is exclusively positive type of a thing. Because of this, she would get much better publicity, much better press, and help her reputation a great deal by quietly, silently donating. Include a scribbly, hand-signed card if she must, but doing something quietly like that would benefit her hugely because it would actually combat this image that she has. But instead, she's either too narcissistic or too out of touch or both to understand that her approach is further undermining her and just enhancing her problems. Secondly, by insisting upon doing these things herself, she's crowding more cars, more people into areas that are already exacerbated because she requires a pompous 5 to 7 car convoy with multiple security and teams of assistants everywhere she goes. And because that is not necessary, the selfish motives are revealed to the public. Plus, she could be just packing care kits all day long at home and send someone else to deliver them, staying busy in that way and doing some of the helping herself with her hands in that way, and then just send a courier to drop these things off at needed places. So is there a double standard? No. I do not believe there is. If any other celebrity were going around having an entourage follow them while they tried to volunteer and boost morale, nobody needs the Sussexes to boost morale anyway. If any other celebrity were doing that, if any other celebrity took away resources from relief to be escorted around and accommodated, having their team send the pictures to the press, telling others what to do in this time, walking on other people's burnt down homes, they would be roasted too. But no other celebrity or known person has done any of that. The real royals don't even do that. They wait until things have calmed down in a given area before showing up because they're not going to go in there trying to be a distraction or while the first responders are still trying to clean up or fix a problem or handle an issue. They're not going to go in there during those sorts of times. They have a very good group of people and teams around them, advising them and letting them know the situation and whether or not it's really ready to accommodate a visit and whether or not the people of the area and the community of the area are ready for that. Kelly Osbourne said, "No one asked you to go hand out hugs." And hopefully Harry and Meghan finally realize this hugging obsession is a non-starter. We've talked about it a lot. It's weird, it's a power play, it doesn't fit the scenarios or dynamics, and in fact, it seems boundary busting and entitled to expect other people to welcome you into their space for hugs all the time just because you're Harry and Meghan. But what do you think about this? Do you think there's a double standard or not? Please leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm eager to read them. Thank you for joining me for today's video. I hope you have a happy day ahead, and I will see you next time. Bye.